Welcome to the Houston Roundball Review takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E. I am, of course, KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. You're watching this show. Thank you, first of all, for joining me on the lunch break, taking time out of your lunch break to join me. You're watching on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Fire TV, YouTube, of course, on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, but also on Roku. Yes, Roku via the BS3 network. Just go to Roku, download the BS3 app. Don't have it? You can go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. Man, going to have an action packed 55 minutes or so. I already had an action packed hour and last 2 hours. Morning to you, Mr. Tran, chiming in from, I believe you're on the West Coast right now. Thank you very much, as always, for taking time out. Going to talk some Rockets drafts, some Cougs, some Pistons. I don't know what my team was thinking. I'll get on that in a second. But within the hour, I wrapped up an interview with Mr. Dan Friel, one of the co-founders of TBT. TBT stands for the basketball tournament. So after this show is done, you can go watch that interview with Mr. Friel, between me and Mr. Friel. And he talked about a few things. Ticket sales are not going great, Coug fans, for the Forever Cougs team, which is hosting the Houston Regional at Fertitta Center. But you have time to buy tickets. The games start July 13th, Friday at Fertitta. So buy tickets. We're kind of slow. Me and my alums are kind of slow and waiting to the last minute to buy tickets and support our Cougs. But we're going to talk about that. And a little prior to that, the Big 12 announced the conference matchups for men's and women's basketball. Going to touch on that right now. Rex 32, how are you? Thank you for chiming in. And as well, some info courtesy of colleague Joseph Duarte, because last Thursday at this time, the news had not happened yet that Chris Pesman would be fired as AD of the University of Houston Athletics. So we're going to touch on that as well. And also, we did a great job, I think. Me, Andy, Dayon, Joseph, and Ryan Monso joined us for Let's Rage Cougs later last Thursday. So if you have not watched that show, watch that show, the edition of Let's Rage Cougs, as we discussed a lot of the angles, pros and cons, about the athletic director job for the University of Houston. First up, Big 12 men's basketball, women's basketball conference opponents. Mr. Tran, Rex 32. Take a look. These are the conference opponents for UH women's hoops and UH men's hoops. The women's teams only play 18 conference games in Big 12 play. The men's teams will play 20 conference games in Big 12 play. So you see the home and away first up for the Houston Cougars women's team. They will have home and away with Baylor, UCF, and Texas Tech. And then home games, one each against Arizona, Arizona State, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. Then they'll go on the road and face these teams one each: BYU, Cincinnati, Colorado, Iowa State, TCU, and Utah. So you look at it there. 6 games home and away, 2 with Baylor, 2 with UCF, 2 with Texas Tech. I may see 2 wins out of those 6. The home games against Arizona, Arizona State, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, West Virginia. Maybe 2 wins out of that. Maybe. And then road games, BYU, Cincinnati, Colorado, Iowa State, TCU, and Utah. maybe 2. Maybe. So added up, maybe 6 wins, 6-12 for Coach Huey in his last year as head coach of the Houston Cougars women's basketball program. I hope. I hope. His contract ends May 31st, 2025. Big Thrillo. Going to talk some TSU athletics in this show today as well. Men's hoops made 2 signings and announced a contract extension for Dr. Kevin Granger as well. Also on the screen, on the slide, we can get into the good news, the better program of Houston Cougars basketball. Men's team, home and away. So this is 2 matchups each. Baylor, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. Home only. BYU, Cincinnati, Iowa State, TCU, and Utah. Road only. Arizona, Arizona State, UCF, Colorado, and Kansas State. So Big 12 men's teams, you face 5 opponents twice. Then you have 5 opponents you face at home once, and 5 opponents you face on the road once, for a total of 20 Big 12 games. So out of those home and away matchups, those 10 matchups, Baylor, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, West Virginia, let's say 7-3, maybe 7-3, 8-2. Home only, BYU, Cincinnati, Iowa State, TCU, Utah. At worst, probably 4-1. Then away only, road only, Arizona, Arizona State, UCF, Colorado, Kansas State. Let's say 3-2. So what is that? At worst, 14-6, 15-5, something like that. At worst, I think. So we shall see. But a far, far cry between men's hoops and women's hoops on the Houston Cougars campus. We all know it. Y'all know how I feel about the women's basketball program. Again, his contract is up May 31st, 2025. That should be it. 11 years under his tenure. Barring some miracle, the team won't go to the tournament. That'll be 11 consecutive years for the Houston Cougars women's basketball program not reaching the NCAA tournament. That's it. That's it. Nothing else to be said. But as Rex says, Tran, don't be so high on Cordell Jefferson. Cordell Jefferson is a talented player, but there might be more talented teammates than him, which says a lot about this year's Houston Cougars men's team. Team is truly, truly, truly too deep at every position. Rex says, man, this got me excited for basketball again, but we got to get through football first. Football team under head coach Willie Fritz might not win a lot this season, but they'll be much better prepared and look like an actual football team that has some actual positive direction. So take that. Keep that in mind. So the losses might be the same as last year, but the team will be in much better going forward. And I think, what is it? As of June 26th, 247sports.com, their composite football ranking, recruiting rankings for college football. Coach Fritz in the class of 25 is ranked in the top 40 already, ranked 39th, I believe. 39th. Rex 32. Off the top of your head, I'm asking you because I don't remember. Do you remember where the Cougs were ranked in football under the previous regime? I don't believe it was as good as 39, and that's national 39. National, 39th in recruiting. Rex coming with the 109, the previous regime, 109. 39, 109. Hmm. That's a little bit different there, isn't it, Rex? Tran, Thrillo, and everyone watching on Facebook, Twitter, Fire TV, YouTube, and Roku. A little bit different. And as Rex says, Fritz doing well with recruiting, and he hasn't even coached a game yet. Okay? The foundation, Coach Fritz is building a foundation of a successful football program. So that is something to be happy about, to look forward to. But I'm going to say this. I mean, I'm not in charge of marketing or anything of that sort. Buy your tickets. Buy your tickets. Support your alma mater. Buy your tickets and show up to the games, the home games, or some road games if you want to, if you're able to do that. Support the football program. The football program, football makes college sports TikTok, makes the world go around. The Cougs are lacking in athletic budget. It's part of that is football ticket sales. Speaking of it, salute to you, Rex, and your family. Rex says his family and him will be there. Joseph Duarte wrote, I think it was yesterday in the Chronicle, about 5 things the new AD should focus on. I'm going to focus on one of them, a specific one. What's on tap for UH's next athletic director? Donor growth. One of the major reasons for Pesman's dismissal, according to a source, and JD and I probably don't have the same sources regarding this, but I heard the same thing, was his inability to make significant progress in fundraising and corporate sponsorships. In the most recent filings for 2023, UH lagged in both areas, with $10.1 million in donor contributions and $5.65 million in corporate sponsorships, according to the Knight Commission, which compiles data from revenue and expense reports colleges file annually with the NCAA. With only a handful of donors in position to contribute significant gifts, even Tillman Fertitta has his limits. UH needs to expand its donor base. I'm going to stop right there. That's one of the things all 5 of us harped on in last Thursday's Let's Rage Cougs. I've said it on this show. I've said it on other shows, platforms. UH has to expand its donor base. Stop relying on Tillman. Stop relying on Mattress Mac. There are other alums who have money. The pockets might not be as deep as Tillman's and Mac's. So what? You reach out to them, ask them to contribute and support their university. Those dollars add up. Don't have the mindset, well, they're not a millionaire, so they can't help us. There are successful owners in businesses in Houston and around Greater Houston that graduated from Houston, that are willing and able to participate and contribute. But if you don't ask them, if you don't talk to them, if you don't communicate with them, or worse yet, if you alienate them and have pissed them off over the years, then you have to mend those fences and work with them and massage their egos and help them and ask them to come back and support the University of Houston. It's not just Tillman. It's not just Mac. Gerlo's right. Tax write-offs. And the same can be said for just about every Houston area university. The alumni support for all our local schools is poor. UH, TSU, Rice, Prairie View, HCU. I don't believe any of those five are doing a great job in terms of donor contributions and corporate sponsorships. All five can do better, can do better, need to do better, should do better. And see, right here, 1,001 is the same as $1 in 1,000 hands. That money adds up. $10 here, 50 here, 100 here. There are, I think nearly 300,000 UH alums in Greater Houston, living alums in Greater Houston. If they, on average, contributed $100 each, that's $30 million. On average. That's a little bit more than $9 a month. A little bit less than $9 a month. Think about that. So back to what JD wrote. Donor fatigue. Donor fatigue is real. As fans who are already asked to pony up for pricey season tickets, and honestly, Houston tickets aren't that pricey, football tickets, but they're also being asked to foot the bill to build, maintain facilities, and now contribute to NIL. With an older fan base, UH officials need to shift the focus to engaging a newer and younger demographic of potential donors. And this point here, Joseph mentioned on the show last Thursday. And he's on point. Does anyone remember the Rise campaign announced in 2022? After providing early updates on progress toward the $150 million goal, not a peep has been heard since. Not exactly the way to drum up support. And you assume, and it's dangerous to assume, as we know, we have not heard anything about the Rise campaign because the contributions aren't going well. Well, flip side of that is, if you make a presentation, you present it, this is where we stand on our Rise campaign. We need your help. We need your support. We have not yet reached our goal. Cougs, fellow Cougs, support us and help us reach our goal as we strive and aim to compete for championships in the Big 12. Cougs helping Cougs. Help us reach our goals. Help us to reach those heights. Help us to reach the level where we believe the University of Houston belongs. And that's at the top, at or near the top, in everything we do. Academics and athletics and donors, contributions. We should be at the top. That should be our goal. That should be our aim every year, to be at or near the top in everything we do, because we are the University of Houston. We are Houston Cougars, and we are proud of where we graduated. I know I am. So keep that in mind. But back to it. A different Coug-related topic. Forever Cougs features alums, members of previous Houston Cougars men's basketball teams under head coach Kelvin Sampson. Final roster. The Cougs are the second seed in the Houston Regional. Yes, the second seed. The one seed, the top seed in the Houston Regional, is the North Texas team. And I asked Mr. Dan Friel about that in our conversation earlier today. You can watch it on YouTube. North Texas squad is the top seed in the region because they reached the title game last year. So they had the experience and the talent. So they deserve that 1 seed. So keep that in mind. But Forever Cougs, the 2nd seed in the Houston Regional, is organized by a former Houston men's basketball director of ops, Ms. Shu Nega. Shu, at one point, he was in Utah working in the Jazz organization. So I'm assuming he's back now. I think I saw him on campus not too long ago. But the team is coached by former Cougar Lawrence Pay. Forever Cougs' current roster includes Fabian White, Justin Gorham, the Godfather, Galen Robinson Jr., the godfather of Kelvin Sampson's Cougars, Galen Robinson Jr., Devin Davis, Rob Gray, Wes Van Beck, Devontae Pollard, Eric Weary Jr., Tayshawn Thomas, and from Tulane, Melvin Frazier. So a little bit of a curveball there when I saw Melvin's name. Melvin can hoop. He hooped at Tulane. He hooped in college. But a different mix of names there, and that's the current roster. And Justin's asking, and let him know. Thank you, Justin, for watching, chiming in. Forever Cougs is one of the teams participating, one of the 64 teams participating in the TBT, the basketball tournament, which consists of the Elam ending. The winning team will receive $1 million. $1 million. Justin, we have time after this show. You can watch my conversation with one of the co-founders of TBT, Dan Friel. But the games for this tournament taking place in July, so next month in a few weeks, will be available for free on the website, thetournament.com. And some games will also be on linear TV, the Big Ten Network, Fox Sports, FS1, and maybe FS2. The regional sites are, let's see if I still have it here in my notes. There are 8 regional sites. 4, like Houston, start on July 19th. Those dates are July 19th through 23rd. And then 4 start on July 20th through July 24th. Regional sites: Butler, Cincinnati, Houston, and Lexington. Those all host games beginning on July 19th. The other 4 with games starting on July 20th: Dayton, Louisville, Pittsburgh, and Wichita. And these games feature players, alums of their schools, respective schools, for the most part. So a lot of the guys on Forever Cougs played with the Cougs. A lot of the guys who played on the Louisville squad played for the Cardinals. Kentucky has a squad. So it's a lot of alums. A few of the names you can recognize in the competition. You saw these guys hoop in college. And some of them are still playing ball overseas professionally and have gotten better since you saw them hoop in college. So keep that in mind. Rex says the ticket prices for the TBT games at Fertitta Center are very affordable. I'm going to be there. Yeah, that's why one of the reasons why I'm doing this is promote. I don't know about promote, but I know the UH account tweeted that Forever Cougs roster was finalized and the schedule was finalized. So I got to walk a fine line. So yeah, they got to walk a fine line of promotion, I think. But these are alums and not current players, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But that's one reason why I'm trying to do this and why I talked to Mr. Friel. No, it's not really about them getting looks for the NBA. It's competition. This is the 11th year of it. of TBT. And I think first the first year might have been just online. Maybe the championship game in that first year was on ESPN, ESPN2. But the previous 10 years, the games were available on ESPN. I know that the title game, ESPN, ESPN2. This year, the games are available on the website, but also on Fox, FS1, Fox Sports, FS1, and even the Big Ten Network. So there are guys like Dejan Giroux was one of the Cougs who was committed earlier to be on the team, but Dickey I think he's really trying to get back to the NBA, and he may have a summer league roster spot with an NBA team. That's why you did not see him. I'm assuming that's why you didn't see him among these 10 names. So not all these guys are going to try to go to the NBA. They're making good money overseas. And I tell a lot of the youngsters, young fellas, y'all can make a very good living playing pro ball overseas. A six-figure living. So keep that in mind. Don't give up on your dream just because you didn't get picked in the NBA. You can do well overseas and have a long, successful career. But here's some more info. Forever Cougs will play Austin's own. That's the Texas alumni team at 8 o'clock on Friday, July 19th. If Forever Cougs advances to the second round, it's win or go home. They will face the winner of the Enchantment, the New Mexico alumni, and once a Bronco, Boise State alumni matchup at 6 o'clock on Sunday, July 21st. The Houston Regional Championship game is set for 8 p.m. on Tuesday, July 23rd. So that's the first game. The Cougs, as you see, are the 2 seed. The Forever Cougs are the 2 seed. Austin's own is the number 7 seed in the Houston Regional. And once again, the number 1 seed in the Houston Regional is the team from North Texas because they reached the title game in last year's TBT. The winner of the Houston Regional will play the winner of the Wichita Regional in the quarterfinals, either in Houston or Wichita, Kansas on July 29th or 30th. Official game date, time, and location to be determined. The semifinals and $1 million winner-take-all championship game will be August 2nd and 4th in Philly at the Daskalakis Athletic Center. So yes, there's serious dollars in this event. And one thing, Mr. Friel, here's a bracket of the regional, the Houston Regional. You see round of 64, winners advance to the round of 32. Winners of that go to the round of 16. And then winners of that go to the quarterfinals. But the winning team, the players on winning team, receive their money. There is a promotion, and there are bracket competitions. Like I said, we covered a lot in our conversation. Lasted about 15 minutes. And I have timestamps for you to navigate through our conversation with me and Dan Friel, co-founder of TBT. But one of the things he mentioned, when the title game is over and the team wins, and part of the beauty or difference of TBT is the Elam ending. The final 4 minutes of the game in the fourth quarter. Games have a little stop, pause in action. The team that is ahead, 8 points is added to their score. And then the final 4 minutes, really turn off the clock. The object of the game after that is to reach that score. So the score with 4 minutes to go is 80-79. Add 8 points to the 80. Then the final score to get is 88. So that is what both teams will be striving to reach is 88. So the game will end on a made bucket. So keep that in mind. The game will end on a made basket. That is part of the Elam ending. That is the Elam ending. So fast pace, going to be physical, a lot of action, nonstop. And see, Rex has seen games like that. He's seen it. That's the fun part. The Elam ending. It's different than college basketball and NBA and FIBA International. Elam ending is different. Games end on a made basket. And the games don't last more than probably an hour and a half. So you can go to the game, watch the game, buy some concessions. Hopefully it's improved. Hopefully at Fertitta Center, as we've talked about that a lot as well. And there's merch available. You want to buy you some Forever Cougs merch, you can do that too. All of that is available. Miss Wanda says she's looking forward to TBT. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for everybody doing. Got a lot of folks chiming in during this lunch break. Appreciate that. Going to talk Rockets a little bit, but I'm going straight through. Well, no, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Going to take a 30-second break to remind folks, 35-second break, to inform folks, if you're new to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break on Thursdays, let you know about BS3 Network, BS3 TV, because we are changing the way you watch TV. So this promo, it's quick, give you an indication of what BS3 TV / BS3 Network is all about. Be right back.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E, courtesy of the BS3 Network. I am, of course, KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me today on this Friday Eve. And we're going to talk. You're watching the show on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Fire TV, and Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't have it, you can go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. Before the break, I was discussing Forever Cougs in the TBT, the basketball tournament, which will take place in a few weeks, Friday, July 19th at Fertitta Center. But now, Thrillo, and TSU alums. Miss Donna, where are you? Time for some Texas Southern news and info. And it's good news. Dr. Kevin Granger receives a contract extension through 2029. The Texas Southern University Board of Regents has approved a 5-year contract extension through 2029 for Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, Dr. Kevin Granger. Dr. Granger, who has served as TSU's Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics since 2018, has been affiliated with the university for 31 years. He hooped there long time ago as a student asset, coach, and administrator. Quote, I would like to thank our Board of Regents and President Crawford for having the trust and belief in me to guide our athletic department, end quote. But he continues, Texas Southern has played a pivotal part in my life, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to keep building on the foundation. We are coming off another history-making season, both academically and athletically, and my goal is to continue elevating TSU to another level as I want to also thank the student athletes, Drillo, university faculty and staff, and athletic staff for working together as a cohesive unit to ensure TSU remains at the forefront in this era of college athletics. Under his watch, the department has continued to maintain its high standards academically in the academic performance rate (APR) and graduation success rate categories with record scores during his tenure. Rex 32 says, polar opposite of what's going on across the street. Congrats, Dr. Granger. Justin says, I'm for TSU and want them to do good. My mom and aunts went there, and my cousin Alexis, is a head volleyball coach there. And she just took over that job not too long ago. Small world. For the second time in 3 years, TSU has won the SWAC's Academic Success Award, which is an award decided upon each member institution's collective ranking in the categories of highest 4-year APR average, highest single-year APR average, and highest graduation success rate. On the playing fields, Thrillo, TSU made history this past semester by capturing the 2023-24 Southwestern Athletic Conference C.D. Henry Award, which is presented to the top men's program in the SWAC. This also marked the second time TSU has been presented with this award since its inception in 1969. So salute to Dr. Kevin Granger, TSU Athletics, the university. I cover H-Town hoops. I cover H-Town teams. Here, part of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. On the court, the teams. Thrillo, you know this. I saw you like these two. This info. Alex Anderson has signed with TSU. 6'6" from Incarnate Word. Last season, 19 games played, 13 starts, 11 points per game, 47.3% field goal percentage. He only took 6 threes. In today's era of hoops, only taking 6 threes? Wow. 78.7 free throw percentage, 2.9 assists per game. Thrillo, 56 assists, 55 turnovers. Yeah, that's 1-1. Prior to that, 22-23 season at Alabama State, averaged 9.9 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game. Then the year before that, he was at South Alabama, where he averaged 6.2 points per game and 3.3 rebounds while shooting 50.6% from the floor. Coach Jones and staff weren't done because they got Dwayne Posey transfer from Northwestern State, 6'7". Last season at Northwestern State for the Demons, I believe. 29 games, 11 starts, 51.2% from the floor. Only took 2 threes. Thrillo, what are y'all doing over there? What Coach Jones doing? Only took 2 threes. Averaged 6.7 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 45 turnovers. 45 turnovers in 29 games. Got to get better on that. 13 steals in a little under 18 minutes per game. Prior to Northwestern State, he played 2 years at Kilgore College and 1 year at Alabama State. He averaged 7.4 points and 5 rebounds per game in the 2022-23 season at Alabama State, appearing in 31 games with 17 starts. So congrats to both of those young men. Congrats to Coach Jones and the staff. And the three-point shooters, I think they're already on the roster. But Coach Jones is reloading. So look forward to spending some time over there at the H&PE Arena and watching the men's team and see if Coach Skeet and the women's team and her new players can get on winning track this season. The SWAC made it official. Has it made it official? I already knew about it, courtesy of Coach Skeet. Thrillo, I think you know this because I think you saw my chat with Coach Skeet. The SWAC conference games going to be a little different this coming season. Women's games will take place on Thursday and Saturday. The men's games will take place on Saturday and Monday. So Saturday will be a double hitter of SWAC action. But Thursday, ladies will be solo. And Monday, the men will be solo. So a little SWAC hoops tidbit for you right there. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and it continues. The June 23rd game between the Fever and Chicago Sky, the most viewed game on ESPN platforms in 23 years. 2.3 million viewers. Viewership peaked with 3.3 million viewers. Chicago won that game 88-87. Angel Reese, rookie for the Sky, 25 points and 16 rebounds. Caitlin Clark had 13 assists for the Fever. The effect is real. The impact is real. Just putting it out there. And yes, that is the new rivalry for the W. The current rivalry is probably in New York and Connecticut, East Coast, of course, Eastern Conference, and then also New York and Las Vegas Aces in terms of potential WNBA finals matchups. DPG, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. No doubt. Y'all know I'd love for the comments or if a different name for the WNBA to return to Houston. No question. No question. Come on now. Reese has something to do with that? Yes, no doubt. No question. But her impact is not as big as Caitlin Clark's. But the Caitlin Clark games, the viewership, I think for the Fever games, the percentage increase is massive. But the increase, there's also an increase for the other games, the non-Caitlin Clark games. So fans are watching the WNBA games on ESPN, ABC, ION, Amazon. More and more people are tuning in to watch the games, regardless of who's playing. So that is a great sign. And should be another note to Tillman and his folks. Get involved, man. Bring the W back to Houston. Come on. Side note, the Arizona hockey franchise ownership kind of flamed out. So it looks like there won't be any return of the NHL to Arizona. Phoenix Coyotes moved to Utah. And the owner of the Arizona franchise kind of finally realized that, yeah, it's not going to happen here. So an expansion opportunity for the NHL has opened up, Tillman. Work on that. Work your contacts. See if you can bring an NHL team and a WNBA team to Houston. And that way should be much, much closer to your goal, your dream of having Toyota Center or even a new facility have all those home dates booked. Just saying. All right. As Tran mentioned at the top of the show, as y'all know, the first round of the 2024 NBA draft took place Wednesday, June 26th. The Houston Rockets, with the third pick overall, selected Reed Shepard. If you haven't seen it already on anywhere, but especially on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Arrows are not around. No, they're not. They're not playing downtown. But Rockets GM Rafael Stone had some glowing things to say about Reed Shepherd. Listen to these words.
We kind of, at the end of our process, we ended up with Reed as the best player in the draft by quite a bit, the best prospect we thought. Again, not putting anybody else down, and it's obviously going to be incumbent upon him to bear all that out. And kind of the only guy that we were really focused on. So, so if he had not gotten to us, I think we would have probably traded down or out of the draft. But when we had the opportunity to pick him, we jumped on it.
Vanessa Richardson. Oh, go ahead.
It's okay if I follow?
Well,
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Why did you feel that way, that he was the best player in the draft?
Yeah, I think he has a special, I mean, time will tell, right? It's I would say best prospect. But he just has a special set of skills. I mean, his shooting is historically great. And his feel for the game, his passing, his ability to get deflections, and he's an NBA athlete. Like he's not somebody who's under athletic. And so and I, like the IQ and feel, I think, is very real. And so there's just a lot to like. That's the answer.
Thank you. Thanks, Tomorrow.
Go ahead, Vanessa.
Well, I was going to ask what about Reed made him your guy, but you kind of just answered it. So I guess my follow-up would kind of be the IQ piece of it. He just turned 20 years old. What about his basketball IQ kind of impressed you in the short time you've been able to get to know him?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, he's a very nice kid. I've gotten to know him a little bit off the court, but yeah, I haven't gotten to his basketball IQ is from watching on film, and just he makes the easy play easy. He sees the court really well. His decision making, his processing is really quick. Even as I think it's one of the reasons he shoots so well, because the game comes easy to him and he knows whether he's going to shoot early enough to be ready to shoot. His shot preparations like truly astoundingly good. So so yeah, that's what we saw. And then defensively, a lot of stuff. He baits guys on defense. He picks up cheap steals. He can almost cheat the game a little bit through anticipation. And again, he's a really good athlete, so he doesn't have to just rely on his anticipation. He's able to couple it with some, with some athleticism.
There you go, Rafael Stone with some glowing words about newest Rocket Reed Shepherd. Rockets selected Reed in the third pick Wednesday of the first round of the 2024 NBA draft. Round 2 will be in a few hours, I think 3:00 Central Time. We'll see where Houston's Jamal Shead goes. I think it's safe he'll be drafted today in the second round. If not, go the free agent route. Some comments I'll get to here. DPG says, family and I went to the Rockets draft event last night at GRB. It was fun, but long lines and not enough activities for the amount of people. That's surprising and disappointing. What did y'all expect? Rockets are hot right now. They're not the Texans hot, but they're hot. Popular. Rex, I've been hearing about the KD rumor, but I feel like this team have room to grow versus getting a player on the downslope. I agree with that. I think that's more of Tillman wanted a star, a mega star, and Coach Udoka really pushing for getting back to the playoffs now. Miss Wanda says she heard a report this morning that the Rockets have been following him since high school. Yes, I heard that. Rafael said it during last night's media session. Yes. CA37, welcome to you. Klingon was on the radar, was on the Rockets' radar, but it just came down. Rafael said that they just believe Reed is a better player, better prospect. Donovan Klingon was my choice, was my first choice when the Rockets landed the third spot in the lottery. But more and more it became apparent that the Rockets were going to pick Reed Shepherd. with the 3rd pick. And Reed's defense, his one-on-one defense, his individual defense needs work. He's improving. I mean, what 18, 19-year-old freshman, college doesn't have that issue. His team defense is better than his individual defense. But one of the things, Reed has hops. Had one of the best verticals at the NBA draft combine. And I did not know this until today. Reed Sheppard and Jamal Shead are different kind of defensive players. Jamal is a much better one-on-one defense, better overall defensive player, but specifically one-on-one defense, better player. Reed Sheppard had more blocked shots last season, his freshman year, his only season at Kentucky, than Jamal did. Let me say that one more time as I read Justin's comment here. Someone mentioned that the Rockets finally drafted for need and not best available, or maybe they thought Reed was the best player. Justin said Klingon never made sense to me unless they're my reason for drafting Klingon for the Rockets need a rim protector. They still don't have one. Steven Adams, healthy 1 year. I think he'll be gone after this coming season. There's Jonathan Klingon right there. Your backup big man for years and years and years, your solid rotation. There you go. That's another issue I have with Reed Sheppard. He's 6'1"-ish. He's barely a little bit taller than Jamal Shead. But his reach, difference between standing reach and wingspan, is less than Jamal's. So I'm curious to see how Reed handles the switching defenses that Ime Udoka likes to play. But he's got a lot of help from his teammates. As long as he's not on the floor with Jalen Green, his defense got better, but compared to Tari and Jabari and others, yeah. So we shall see. But once again, let me say it again. Reed Sheppard had more blocked shots than Jamal Shead this past season in college. It's like 23-17. Think about that. That's kind of a surprise. Reed Sheppard had more blocked shots than Jamal Shead. You watch the Cougs play, you see Jamal blocking a shot one-on-one, his guy, man up, blocking a shot, hustling after it, making hustle plays, things like that. But Reed Sheppard had more blocked shots than Jamal Shead. Yep, and salute to Jalen Green for being at the draft. Posted a picture of JG with Reed after Reed was selected. Posted it on the Houston Roundball Review community tab on YouTube, but also on Houston Roundball Review on Instagram. Give me some water out of my Houston Roundball Review mug. Click on that shop button. And buy you some Roundball Review merch. Yes, Reed shot 52% from three-point range in college. Yes. Best shooter in the draft. And he's on I didn't know that, but on the depth chart. It's kind of interesting because earlier in the week, colleague Jonathan Fagan wrote that the Rockets were going to bring back Aaron Holiday. Well, if you do bring him back, then where's Reed going to be on the depth chart? I mean, Aaron Holiday is not really a point guard. Okay, he's an undersized scoring guard. But do you really need Aaron Holiday if you have Reed Sheppard? And clearly, Reed is a rookie. Okay, I am not expecting him to set the world on fire in November. But I like that comparison. A Brent Price type player. I don't remember Brent having the hops that Reed has, but Bobby, thank you for chiming in on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E. Bobby mentioned this on Folks Talking Sports on Monday, earlier this week, with me and Willie Gibson. He would have preferred Donovan Clingan because of Reed's size on defense. Like he's not tall. He does not have long arms. The Rockets still, in my opinion, do need a rim protector. But Rafael Stone believes, he said it, they had Reed as their top overall prospect on their draft board. The analytics teams love Reed Sheppard. The teams who are not as big in analytics don't love him as much. We shall see how it all plays out. The Rockets had a need for shooting. Reed Sheppard meets that need. We'll see how it fits defensively. That was one of my biggest issues for him was his individual defense. His lateral quickness is not great. So his, point of contact defense, head-to-head, straight-on defense is not great. Hell, I'm not even sure if it's good. But off-ball defense, playing the passing lane, things like that, he's good at. But he's also a winner. He's smart. And he does not hurt his team. He makes the right plays. He's in position. He's in the right spots. He anticipates well. So we shall see how it all plays out. Round 2, Rockets have the 44th pick in the draft. Round 2 is in a few hours. Justin says, I guess they will try to find that rim protector in some league or other deals. Rockets aren't done making moves. But Rafael said he likes his roster, and he said he does not see the Rockets making, any major changes this summer. Of course, that could be just GM speak and raising the ante up for a team to make him a great offer. In these closing moments of this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, another example of the media group. Adolphus A.D. Moore has been approved to attend and cover the 2024 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Week. That is another honor for the Houston Roundball Review Media Group. So one more time, y'all know a certain Houston Texan will be enshrined in August. A.D. Moore will be there representing the Houston Roundball Review Media Group. Correct. A.J. Andre Johnson is going into the hall, getting that gold jacket. So thank you very much for your time joining me on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. Spread the word about this show. Spread the word about the BS3 Network. You can watch it on Roku. Watch it on Instagram and TikTok. Subscribe to this channel. Sign up to BS3 TV on Roku. Support the Roundball Review by spreading the word, by making a contribution, clicking a $, buying you a mug, buying you a cap, buying you a shirt, buying you a tank top, buying you a bucket hat, all those great things. And in closing, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.